Welcome to the Crimson Comedy Show! Welcome to the Crimson Comedy Show. I'm your host, Andy. Today we got a very special guest today. He's a comedian, podcaster, producer. Give it up for Dave Thompson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Anyways, how was your drive here?
Not too bad. Just a little bit of traffic. Nothing I couldn't handle.
I know you said you're a driver, and you were like one of the first persons I didn't have to like call and figure out how to get here, because in the past I've had people come to get lost, and it's a mess in here. Like, I don't know why the GPS does that. Like, did it ping you here, or like, because I sent you the picture of the map, but like,
Yeah.
some people just end up in different parts of the community depending on where you're coming from. Like, the insurance will send you different directions, and I don't know, it's dumb, but
So the way that the ping will work is that it'll ping me to your garage because that's where the car can drive down. So like the car that makes the map, right? Those cars that have those spinny things on top.
Mhm.
One of them drove down your garages.
I've never
Right.
seen those. Like, I've seen people that run outside and like flash the camera when or do something stupid, but I've never seen them driving around.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see them every so often or whatever, but basically, if somebody has a street like you have it where you can drive in the garages, but you have to walk up to the door, it's gonna ping the garage.
When we first moved here, we wanted to meet the realtor, and we couldn't find him. He couldn't find us, and then we're like, "Where is this fuck?" I was getting ready to leave because I couldn't find the guy, but thank God we ended up figuring it out. I had to ask some random person. I hate asking for directions, but I asked some random Asian lady, and I don't think she spoke very good English, but but I found the place. But yeah,
We figured it out.
so you used to be a driver, right? So you drove for Amazon.
Yeah,
How long ago did you work there?
yeah. I stopped doing it like I would say like 3-4 months ago. I was doing it for about 6 months. And basically I was doing like Amazon Flex. I use my own car. I choose what warehouse I want to start at, like what area I want to start at. The only thing I couldn't choose is where I would be going.
Did they give you gas cards for that?
No.
You have to pay your own gas, or
Yeah.
you just report your miles or something? Like,
Nope. They give you nothing.
so what's the perk to it then?
Nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I stopped. So like at first, like I was doing it and I'm thinking in my head, like if there's an order or like a scheduled delivery that's supposed to take 5 hours and I do it in 3, I was like, oh well, I'll just do a bunch of them. But what I didn't realize is that they make you wait until the end of the delivery time regardless. So you can't just like double up on them. So you get nothing for being fast. Because I thought to myself like, oh, I'm gonna go out here. I know
thought
these
you got paid
areas.
extra for that.
No, you don't get paid anything extra, and they don't pay you until the 5th hour is done. So like if you start at 4 p.m. and it's supposed to go till 9 p.m., even if you finish at 7:30, you still don't get paid until 9, and you still can't do another order until 9.
That's crazy. That's like, I've seen sometimes I see people here like they rent their own, like rent vans or
Yeah.
something. Like, so people are paying out of pocket for this. I thought it was
Mhm.
part of the company, or does the company have random vans?
So if the company has random vans, but those are like if you work like you're a Amazon employee, not a contractor. The Flex program is like contractors where you get paid out.
So the only perk is that you get to make your own schedule and you get paid the day of.
Yeah, you get paid. So like just like I said in my scenario, if I start at 4 and it ends at 9, they'll literally upload it to my debit card and I'll have the money at that point.
You know what pisses me off? You see how quick they can pay you? How come all jobs don't do that? You have to wait fucking 2 weeks for payroll to pay you or whatever. Like,
I think bigger companies like are able to do that. So like my main thing that I do now is Instacart. That's like my main like thing that I do. And you get paid immediately after the order's done. You do have to wait 2 hours to get whatever tip the person gives you because they can adjust it up or down. So you have to wait for it. But you get paid right away for like doing the order.
There's this couple that does Instacart by State Road by my house, and they just chill in the grocery store. They sit on those little, little handicap scooters. They just
Oh,
hang out
jeez.
there
You're
waiting
not
for
supposed to
orders.
do that.
They do it. My brother, he was here for a barbecue and he ordered beer from them. And then the dude came and dropped it off, and I recognized him. Like, he's the dude that chills on the
Yeah.
cars. But they just literally sit there. It's smart, I guess, just to sit there and wait for the order. They pick
Mhm.
and choose, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you have a high rating and you're close to the stores, you get like priority access. So the closer you are to like the ping of the store, the more opportunities you're gonna get for orders. But it just depends because like sometimes like there's just not that many people ordering. So you have to go to areas like I normally go out towards the desert, like Palm Springs, Palm Desert area, because there's a lot of older people
Mhm.
and it also gets really hot and people don't want to leave their houses. And during the winter, like slash spring months, like basically right now, there's a bunch of people that are on vacation, a bunch of people partying and doing stuff. I worked out there, Coachella, Stagecoach, all that. None of those people want to go to the store.
You didn't Uber around there at all?
I don't do Ubering. Just heard too many horror stories about people doing weird stuff in cars.
So you have to have cameras.
Yeah, I'd rather just do the deliveries though. I've still had some weird stuff happen even doing the deliveries, but
I had a friend who did like Uber for like events, and those
mhm.
supposed to make money because they charge you more. Like
Yeah,
people coming out of concerts or whatever, you just hang out outside and you get paid more. Like
yeah, if it's an area like that, you can definitely get paid more. It is really hard though because there's people that travel from all over, like the Inland Empire, Orange County, or LA, and they'll go to those destinations. So like I'll be fighting against Instacart shoppers that I see in Orange County, in the desert,
some
because they're coming
some
out
guy
for
from
the
my work
festival.
on the weekends, he drives to LA to go do Instacart or Uber Eats or whatever it is.
It's
But
very popular.
but
Yeah,
I would.
Santa Monica area, all of that, 24/7
Could
is
you
busy.
imagine sitting in LA traffic trying to deliver a burrito or something?
I know, I've done it many times.
I literally hate driving. Like I know you were a driver for your job and then you travel for comedy.
Yeah,
I'm so tired of driving. Like I don't know how old you are, but I'm 36 now. I'm
I'm
tired.
31.
Tired of driving.
Yeah.
My wife's the fucking passenger princess. No matter where we go, I have to drive. And then when I go to do shows and they're an hour away, where I'm like, fuck, like, and then I get to LA and I'm like, ugh, like I hate it, man. But
Yeah, I feel that.
I wish I had people to like carpool with. But then again, people want to hang out and stay after. Like I just want to go home. So
Yeah, I think that actually like kind of sparks a conversation. I feel like I wish there was more, at least in our like Inland Empire community, local comedy community.
where are you from?
Well, I'm from like I grew up in Marina Valley. I was born
Where you
in.
from, eh?
Where you from, dog, homie? Murder Valley,
You
dog.
from Mobile?
We're from Murder Valley,
Hey,
dude. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't do this. Sorry.
I've never heard Murder Valley. That
You've never heard that?
I don't know anybody
So
from Murder
originally
Valley.
there used to be a bunch of gangs in Marina Valley. There was like some Korean gangs, some Mexican gangs, dude, and they would like freaking like tear up that mall, the Mobile Mall. That's why it looks the way it does
I have never been there, but I remember hearing about like a shooting around there or something like that.
all the time, dude. There's just a lot of not in every area. There are a couple areas in Marina Valley that are pretty nice. There's some $1 million homes in Marina Valley.
I almost bought a house down there and I got outbid by like a couple 100,000. I was like, who the hell has money for that?
The
Like,
Chinese dog.
and the house, racist, I'm just kidding. The house needed work and I knew it needed work, but I was just like, we were so desperate looking for a house because the housing markets, we've had this house for almost 4 years now, but
Yeah,
even back then, like,
it was going up.
buying a fucking house is a headache. Like, we were looking for like 6 months before
Mm.
we finally chose this one, or we finally found someone who accepted an offer. 'cause
Yeah.
everyone just kept getting outbid, but it's a bitch trying to buy a house out here. But I wouldn't, honestly, if I could make a choice again, I wouldn't buy a house in California. I would have moved out of here, but
Yeah.
the wife doesn't want to leave, so I'm stuck here.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Like my wife's whole family lives here. Well, right now we actually live with them, but all of her family, like aunts, uncles, everybody, we live in the same town. We live in Yucaipa. But to answer your question, born in Riverside, grew up in Marina Valley, and then I've been living in Yucaipa for like the past 9 years because that's where my wife's from. And so I've kind of like been adopted into Yucaipa.
I went to a concert in Yucaipa one time in the middle of fucking nowhere. It was a band called Suicide Silence from Riverside. This was like 15 years ago.
Hold on. You're speaking my language, dude. I don't, Sleeping Giant, Impending Doom, Suicide
Hey,
Silence, dude. I used to be at freaking the Glass House,
you
Pomona.
remember? Okay, you like Sleeping Giant. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
dude.
Do you remember a place called the Nitty Gritty in Rancho?
Too, I remember the nitty gritty, dude.
I
Come on.
I went to go see them there, and then everyone would just like tear. It was like a little church. Everybody,
Yeah.
anyone doesn't know what nitty gritty is. It was like literally like a hardcore venue slash church.
Yeah, it was a church that rented it out for hardcore shows.
Yeah, the dude.
And I saw many shows there.
Yeah, we probably ran. We might have crossed
I
paths.
guarantee you we hit each other at least once.
But I used to go to shows there all the time. But that was like 15, maybe 20 years. It was a long time
Yeah.
ago. But I saw Sleeping Giant there, and they that people were just moshing like crazy. And then
Yeah.
I think that was the last show they did there because like it just got too wild there. But Sleeping Giants is badass.
There was one night, I don't know if it was that night. There was a night that there was like gonna be some people getting killed outside. There was like
Yeah.
chains and bats and stuff,
Yeah, I
and
was
like my
there one
brothers
time.
got me because I was pretty young. Like I was maybe like, 11, 12, 13 or whatever at the time, and they were like, "Yo, we gotta get to the car, dude. It's like about to go." Dude, I saw these guys grabbing bats out of their, and I was like, "Yo, it's about to go crazy, dude."
That's what about the hardcore scene is like everyone thought they were hard. And they all thought they were in gangs, a little hardcore dancing crews.
Yeah.
I was never a part of crews, but I knew people. And people just like that, they get into fights, they act all tough because they're 20 people deep.
Yeah.
If they're by themselves, they wouldn't act like that. But I was there one time when someone pulled a gun out in the parking lot. It might have been the same day.
It
I don't
might
know.
have been.
This dude was a Mexican dude. He was acting all crazy and he was saying the N-word and he's not black. He was using the
Rule number one.
he's using the forbidden word and it was crazy. But yeah, but back to my story. I went to
Yeah.
go see Suicide Silence in Yucaipa in the middle of nowhere. It was in a field with a random mobile home, an abandoned mobile home. Whoever put the show on, I don't think they like told the band like what the venue was, but it literally was in the desert with an abandoned mobile home. And then the band was playing, and then one of the dudes, his amps was going out.
Was it outside?
Yes, it was in the random field. Like
It was in a
literally-
field.
It was like a desert lot, like an empty lot. It wasn't even a real address. Like it was just like we had trouble finding the damn place.
Was it like when you're like going towards the mountain?
I don't remember. This was like 20 years ago. Like it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Like
because I was gonna say they have like a wannabe stagecoach, and it's out
No,
like in the middle of
this was,
nowhere
like,
out there.
a fan that put on a show. Like back in the day, bands would do that. They'd just show up for a show.
Yeah.
This was when Suicide Silence was still brand new. Like they had like maybe an EP out. They didn't even have a full album out
When
yet.
Mitch was still alive.
Yeah, this was. I'm telling you, I seen these guys in a desert field. I'm telling you, if you had to use the restroom, there was an abandoned mobile home, and people were just pissing.
How was their power? They have generators or something?
I don't know. It was like some tweaker shit. I literally don't know. Like
For sure.
it was cold, windy. It was a mess. I just want to get that was the one and only time I've been to Yucaipa. But
Mm.
yeah, fuck yeah, I didn't know you were into hardcore music.
Yeah, dude. I was like really big into that like growing up because my brothers were into it. My brothers were in a band. They were in a hardcore band called Life Alas. They played at like Showcase and stuff in Corona.
R.I.P. Showcase.
RIP Showcase, dude. But yeah, I mean, they always took me to shows and then like got me into that. We were into like the like Christian hardcore music because we grew up like in church and stuff like that. And
So
then
you love the nitty gritty then.
loved the nitty gritty. Yeah, we went there a lot, and then there was like Set Free in Calamasa that we also went to.
Never been there.
Yeah, which is crazy because I live like 10 minutes away from there now. They don't do shows anymore.
Do you
though.
remember the guy from Nitty Gritty? In between sets, he would do like a sermon,
Yeah,
and he'd always do the same sermon every.
yeah, dude.
I still remember
That was like the youth pastor or whatever.
he would be like, your life, when you die, that dash they put between on your headstone. He's like, that dash represents your life, like,
Uh-huh.
and anytime.
That's the only thing that you have control over. You don't have control over the beginning. You don't have control over the end. You only have control over the dash.
He would literally do that all the time, and we were like I said, I'm not religious. My wife's religious. I'm not, but
Mm.
I still love the venue. But it's just every time, like in between bands, he would do that. I'm like, come on, man, write something new already.
Get some new material, dude.
Yeah,
This guy's
exactly.
doing the same five, dude.
No, but my podcast is like the Crimson Comedy Show. It's a reference to music and comedy. That's what I love. I grew up
Nice.
loving music. Like I was like 12 or 13 when I started listening to rock, heavy metal, hardcore. Growing up, my family all listened to oldies, and like my brothers still they get drunk and still listen to oldies. I can't do that shit. Like,
Yeah.
What kind of music did you grow up listening to?
See, it was like a plethora of stuff. So my mom really, really big into music. She would listen to like all kinds of
What's
stuff.
your ethnicity?
So I'm second generation from Mexico on my dad's side, and then my mom is from Alabama. She's like white.
So you guys listen to Corinos and Kid Rock or
No.
what?
So my dad is like the put on 96.7.
Hey, KCal rocks.
Yeah,
I
KCal
just
rock.
won some tickets to Monster Jam. I don't know if I'm
Oh,
gonna
really?
go or not.
Well, you got him. Yeah, so like he would just listen to like, whatever rock or whatever, and then my mom really big into Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, Death, anything like that.
Your mom's
And
cool.
but then also she would listen to like random oldies music. You know what I mean?
That's
So
when you
like
knew it was time to
the
clean.
playlist was like I didn't know like how to. I have a bit I'm trying to do about this. Like the playlist would go from like an oldie song to like Ozzy and then to like a worship gospel song. And I'm like, I don't know what the
Hey,
vibe is in
you
here.
should say it was like a drunk dude on the jukebox at the bar or something like that. You know, like some dude going
Yeah.
through all his emotions at one time.
Dude, like I couldn't catch the vibe. I'm like, and then sometimes it was crazy too, because like when my mom got old, like when we started getting a little bit older and we started getting into hardcore music, she wasn't used to hardcore music. She's used to like what she thought was metal, which was just people, not necessarily screaming or growling,
You know,
but it was just the heavy music.
my favorite Christian band is Zayo.
Yeah.
That was the first band I ever saw live at the Glass House. Those ones are
Mhm.
sick. A lot of bands claim to be Christian, but like eventually weren't. Like
As I lay
as
dying.
like dying. I saw that dude when Mitch died.
Yeah.
I went to the festival they were supposed to be at, and then he died, so they didn't come. But
Mhm.
As I Lay Dying was there, and then like a week later, he was in jail for trying to put a hit on his wife.
I saw that at the Hollywood Palladium, and I think it was something around that time, maybe a couple weeks before, and then everybody found out, and I was just like,
This was a
"Dog, this is
festival in
crazy."
San Bernardino at the Orange Show. I think
Oh
it was
yeah,
some type of metal fest. I don't remember which one it was, but Suicide Silence was supposed to be there, but Mitch died like a week before. So
yeah.
yeah, that's some crazy shit. I went to his when Mitch died. I went to his like memorial show they had at the Glass House.
Hmm.
It was so fucking badass. They had a bunch of different singers singing their songs. I have it on DVD somewhere. Like it's in my garage
Dude,
somewhere.
there's so many good shows that have happened there that are just legendary. Like, first of all, have you been to a Face Down Fest?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like the Face Down Fest that
Impending
happened
Doom.
there, dude, is just like when you see the Death Star pull up, which is hilarious. Eric Gregson from Death Star and Sleeping Giant, he lives in Ukaipa. He lives like 2 streets over from me. I see him at Vaughn's like all the time.
Are they still a band?
No, they're not a band
Do you
anymore.
remember? Do you remember Seven Star?
Yeah.
Those ones are sick. What?
Seven Star is good. Tommy, that's the lead singer of Sleeping Giant. He does Holy Name now.
I
That's
was
his band.
I was in a music video for Impending Doom. Those guys are from Riverside. They're Christian too. You know who they are?
Yeah, we used to go to the same church as them, Harvest.
Yeah. The guy Brooke, the singer, I used to be friends with him for back in
Brooke
the day.
Reeves.
Yeah, I used to be friends with him. Then he had a kid, and I don't know. They're still a band. I guess
They're still a band.
they
Yeah,
just released an album recently. My girl was telling me about it because
I haven't listened to it.
she's Christian and she wants me to get like back into this. I mean, I don't care what they were. I like their music. I don't care if it was Christian or not. You know,
Mhm.
if their music was cool, it's cool. But she keeps showing me like, oh, look, a Christian metal show's coming up. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I get it. She
Yeah.
wants me to be a part. I'm just not religious. That's just not me. You know, like didn't really grow up like that. You know, but my grandparents were Catholic, but I wasn't really like, I believe in something, but I just don't feel like I need to go. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
anyways, we don't need to talk about all that. But
Sure. I was like, this is a whole other road.
we're talking about. But I'm just saying, like, she keeps showing me these bands. I'm like, I know they're Christian. I grew up listening to them. I know them. I don't like I said,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, Zayo was sick. Impending Doom was sick. Remember Cyanide Beach?
Yeah.
Cyanide Beach. There's a lot of like.
Dude, I have Sinai Beach on like my favorite hits of like 2002
I have
somewhere in my garage.
I have a box in my garage of just so many CDs, EPs. Half the shit scratched doesn't work. It's
and
like
like
a memory
for
lane.
today, I was in a couple of For Today music videos. For Today was great. Oh my gosh.
Remember
dude.
Under Oath? I went and saw them. We saw them recently at the observatory.
Yeah, I wish they were as good as they used to be. But dude, like back in the day, seeing them, like I saw them at the Glass House once.
I seen
Oh my
both
gosh.
versions. The original singer Dallas, and
Yeah.
then with whoever the guy is, Spencer.
I don't know what his name is.
I think his name's Spencer, but I've seen them both. But I used to live at the Glass House down there,
Yeah.
Second Street. The Tiki Room was as
Mhm.
popular. The Vault. Even they used to play shows in the. It's now like I don't know if it's I haven't done it in a while, but it's like a record store. And it's next door to the Glass House.
Mhm.
It used to be like their green room, and then they
Yeah.
turned it into like a record. I don't fucking know, but yeah.
I haven't been there in a really long time. My kids aren't old enough to go to any shows.
My
So,
daughter's 16 now, and I took her to a few concerts. She likes the band Ghost. I took her to see Ghost. I took her to go see Deftones recently. Like,
oh, okay.
she's finally getting into her,
Deftones is in Ukaipa. They're playing in Ukaipa
where
at
that
the
field you were talking about.
no, no, no. So they freaking spent. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent about this. So our city spent millions and millions of dollars that they didn't have to build a performing arts center, like state of the art, like beautiful, hundreds and hundreds of seats performing arts center. And then there was just like nobody that wanted to like be in it. So they're having Deftones, and then like I think in August they're having like Switchfoot. They're like playing to like
I
that
I saw a
crowd.
flyer for like, I think there was gonna be a rap concert there. I think it was like Little John or somebody gonna be down there. I just saw some flyer
I
for
don't
that.
remember there being a Little John one. I probably would have pulled up, but
I don't know. It said Ukaipa. I don't know anything
if
about
it was, it's there. They're trying to like they have like Broadway shows there
they
and stuff.
in Fontana. They rebuilt a theater down here. It's called
Mhm.
the Red Theater, and Tom Green just performed there. I'm like, damn, I missed it.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
it's a nice little theater. It's small. It looks ghetto outside, but I guess they renovated. It looks nice. But yeah, like you
Mm.
said, they put money into it, trying to get people here. But Tom Green was there. There's a bunch of people coming there. I'm like, I was looking at the tickets. They're like over $100. I was like, yeah, right.
No, for real. And it's the same thing with Ukaipa. Like they have some of the shows that are like maybe 30 or 40, but it's like if as if you were going to like a huge venue, and it's like in my town. I live like 4 minutes from it. So it's kind of like weird in that sense of like Switchfoot's being here. What? I mean,
And
Switchfoot's big.
you should offer Uber right there. You live down the street.
Yeah, we'll
Anyways,
both get the water.
oh yeah, I know. I had to wet my beak.
Water break.
So let's talk comedy. So how long you been
Yeah.
doing comedy now?
So I started July 2nd of this last year, and you were there at my first open mic that I ever did at the Ontario
And
Improv.
that's where we met.
Yeah, that's where we
And
met.
I saw you at Quarter Comics. You're like, you remember me? I'm like, yeah, I remember you. Like,
Yeah, it was
some
like a week before.
some people say, oh, like what? Come up to me. I'm like, I've done it a few times where I didn't remember the person, but I'm like, fuck, like, but I remembered you for sure. But
Mhm.
I've seen you around, but we never really formally conversated. But
Yeah, yeah.
this is what my podcast is for, to
Getting to know
get
people.
to know comics and give you a platform and stuff like that. But yeah, so you've been doing it almost a year now?
Yeah, it's like 10 months now or 9 months, whatever.
I forgot to tell you something. Congratulations on the Rock Gallery
Heck
reopening.
yeah.
I
Thank
saw you
you.
post the photos of the grand opening with the
Mhm.
mayor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, four sold out shows, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all sold out.
What's your involvement with that place? Do you like manage it, or like what do you have a job there? Like, what is it?
Yeah, so my involvement is so Abe, shout out Abe Risen, Abe the owner, he basically books most of the like headliners and stuff. And then if we have show ideas, we meaning myself, Pierce Amaro, Alex Avila, we all produce shows there with him. If there's certain stuff he wants to talk about, he's not a comic. He doesn't come from a comedy background.
The
He comes
owner?
from he's a complete music background. It was a music studio.
Yeah, explain to the audience that doesn't understand. I've never been there, so
Yeah.
even I don't know.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you the story of the Rock Gallery. So the Rock Gallery was a music school, and he was teaching music there, recording music there. So it's basically a music studio, soundproof walls and
Oh,
everything.
that's clean.
And he ended up having an open mic there, open to whatever, comedy, poetry, music, whatever. And a bunch of comedians from the desert showed up. And
There's a bunch of comedians out there.
there's a bunch of comedians out there. And I think he said like the first time that he ever had that mic, there was like 10, 12 people that showed up or whatever. And he didn't know that there was like a scene of people out there. And then one thing led to another. He ended up having a show there. The show did really well. And then it was just like a one-time basis. And then it was like, oh, we'll do one more or whatever. It was never like a planned thing. And then next thing you knew, it was just like it kind of just took off. And he's like, I think I might want to transition from doing music to helping these comedians follow their passion and turn this into a club. And that's basically what he's done now.
That's sick. Cause I guess they're all different art forms. You can have like mixed mics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So how long you been like dealing with those guys? How long you have been there?
Yeah, so my second week of doing like my sixth open mic, I pulled up there to the Rock Gallery, just like looking up open mics. I saw they were having one, and that was when they were about 6 months in
How
to doing
how
stuff.
far is it from your house? Because from here it's like an hour away.
40 minutes.
I looked it up. It was like over an hour away. I was like, damn, that's far. That's like driving to LA. I've
Oh,
never been to
it's
Palm
definitely
Springs.
easier than driving to LA because you don't get the traffic like that.
There's nobody out there. What
No.
freeway? You just take the 10 the whole way out
Take the
there?
10 the whole way, and then you veer off the 111, and then you go down the 111 straight to Palm
You're
Canyon.
talking Chinese to me. I don't even know what that is.
It's a highway 111.
I've never been out there, so I've never been beyond Redlands. So whatever's beyond that, I have
Yeah.
no
So
idea.
once you get past Redlands, you hit Cherry Valley, you hit Beaumont, you hit Banning, you hit Palm Springs after that. Well, Morongo Valley, but then Palm Springs.
Yeah, I have some coworkers that live in Beaumont. I would not drive out there. Fuck that.
Well, like just like I said at the start, like, I went there for the mic and then I really liked it. It had a vibe to where
How big is the room? How many people does it
it's 40
sit?
seats.
That's it. That's the max.
It's max. Yeah, 40 seats. But like it's just like I said, with it being soundproof, low ceilings, everything, like if you're killing in that room,
It's intense.
dude, you feel like you're on top of the world. Like everything, you could just hear it.
'Cause,
The audio is so good in that room.
I had some friends that went down there, like Sandy. You know, Sandy's
Yeah.
he's gonna be on here again next week, returning guest. Shout out to Sandy. Keep your eyes out for him. He's gonna
Sandy.
come back. But my friend Leo was telling me about that place,
Yeah.
and then I seen it in Rick Bravo's. They did a podcast in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I had heard about that place. I just didn't know until recently. I googled it to see where it was at, and I was like, "Fuck, that's kind of far." But maybe I'll check it out. Come down sometime.
Yeah, definitely come
Sounds
down
sick.
sometime. It's cool because like it's a venue, like you might think that it would be difficult to constantly get up at a club, like at a level that we're at where we're just doing open mics. This is a club where there are huge headlining people that you could see headline a casino. Like we had Louis C.K.
And I heard about
booked.
that.
Yeah, and it was a thing where we decided to, with the guidance of the city, temporarily shut down to finish getting all of our permits that we needed to rent events, for him not to be classified as a nonprofit music school, and for him to be classified as an actual comedy club from the Chamber of Commerce.
So now you have to pay taxes.
Yeah, that's his thing. That's not mine.
Who's gonna do the bookkeeping on that?
He does everything. He has all this stuff, but he has his guy or whatever. But now we have alcohol. So we have beer, we have wine, we have seltzers.
Do you guys just serve out of a fridge, or is like an actual like bar draft and stuff like that?
Yeah, so there's a fridge. We have a fridge in the back, and we have like a drink menu and everything.
And like the Glass House, remember that? Have you ever ordered, you drink?
No, I don't.
Well, if you ever order a beer at the Glass House, they'll sell you a tall can for $20, and they'll crack it open and then pour it into a cup and then throw the rest away. And I was like, what the? Like, let me get the rest of that.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna go in that trash can.
Because they don't want cans inside, or they recycle, whatever
Yeah.
bullshit. But they literally are giving you with a red Dixie cup is not fill a tall can.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but do you guys serve tall cans, or how do you guys do it there?
So the beers get served straight, like with the can, and then the wines we do pour because we buy like the bigger wines.
I suggest you guys get IPAs or craft beer because
Already have them.
it's the best. I hate when you go to a venue.
Direct from Coachella Valley Brewing. Shout out Coachella Valley Brewing right down the street.
Hell yeah. Hangar 24 has some pretty decent beers. You probably ask them, hit them up. I'm pretty sure they'll sell to you for a discount or something, you know?
Maybe. I know we have like that thing going with the CVB right now. But yeah, we got all different kinds out there. We got 805s. We got just your regular, Coors Light, whatever stuff you want, seltzers.
I hate going to venues and, like, they charge you $20 for a PBR. I'm like, no.
No. The most expensive thing we have on the menu is wine. It's $10. Everything else is completely regular prices. You know what I mean?
Can I buy a box of one next time I go?
You could ask them, but yeah, it's pretty much a venue. Like back to like the involvement part. So kind of my part in it right now is I'm just trying to do a lot of promotion for it because.
Is that why you came today? I'm just kidding.
Well,
Go ahead, promote all you want. Go ahead.
Woo! No, but like we want all of the locals around the area to know that it's open. It's the only dedicated comedy club in the Coachella Valley.
Do you guys have shows in daily, or is it like what days do you guys have shows?
So right now, since the grand reopening, we like this weekend we have like a Friday and Saturday. Saturday's a double show. But starting in June, we're gonna have 7 days a week.
Hell yeah.
And that's what I was like getting back to of like this isn't like just some random venue. This is an actual
What are you
club.
guys gonna do for staff? You guys gonna hire people, or just you guys are just gonna be you
We're
guys?
just doing it.
Because 7 days a week is a lot for how many people there?
I mean, there's like four of us that are like tight there, but the comics want to help out.
That's what I'm saying. You should do this. You should offer kind of like volunteer work for stage time.
Like the door guy and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
but
yeah.
for stage time, you work this weekend, and then this time later this month you'll have a 5 minute set or something.
Well, yeah, and so it's stuff like that. But I mean, the owner, I mean, he's basically working 7 days as it is because he has like another business that he does during the day. And so this is kind of like what he does. He's a grinder like everybody else. And I mean, like if something were to happen where like he got sick or something, we would be able to handle it for the night if something happened. But yeah, I mean, in just like I said, in June, it's eventually going to be open 7 nights a week, multiple mics, a ton of shows, and a bunch of opportunities for not only the locals to the desert, but expanding that to the Inland Empire and stuff for comics to get stage time
Oh yeah.
at a real club.
I'm curious to hear how it sounds because that sounds pretty sick. How you said it. It's like soundproof for music. Sounds pretty good. Like my bedroom is not soundproof for this, but I do my best. But
Yeah, yeah.
I would eventually want to get some stuff in here to help the sound. But right now, it is what it is. But
Well, because there's like windows, and so he has like the stuff over like what the windows would be and everything. And the room is just like I said, it's pretty small.
how late do you guys stay open?
Most of our shows start at 8, but like when we have double shows, like this Saturday we have Jeff Garcia. It's at 8 p.m. and at 10 p.m.
Shout
They're
out Jeff.
90-minute shows. Yeah, shout out Jeff. So I mean, we'll end up being there till midnight.
I was just wondering how is is there curfews? Like some venues or whatever, you can't stay open past a
No.
certain time. So
No curfew. I mean, it's Palm Springs.
it's
like
it's in an
people stay out
industrial
so
area
late.
too, right? Like it's like a warehouse area.
It's not warehouse. It's in like I don't want to say like it's like a strip mall. It's like there's like 3 massage parlors
Oh.
for dudes in the location. There's an art museum. There's like a dermatologist.
Why do they have 3? Are they that good out there? They need to open 3 businesses?
I think they're all competing against each other. I don't know, but there's some interesting activities that happen above us.
now
let's say that.
I know why certain friends go to that venue.
You
You know who you are. You're
know
listening.
who you are, dude. And start name dropping.
I'm not gonna name drop him.
Them, multiple.
Anyways, yeah, that sounds pretty sick. I want to make a trip out there. Maybe when's your next show? Like, who have you guys had so far? You said you had 4 new headliners. Who have you had?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a pretty long list to like name, but I mean, we've basically tried to get people that feature at clubs in Hollywood or maybe
How do
are
you even
on
get a hold
tour.
of them? Like, I've tried to get bigger names for the podcast. They won't even read my messages.
You know, we were kind of lucky in that like when we started doing it, there was the Louis break where they reached out to Abe and they were like, "Hey, he's going to be in town for the tennis match or whatever, and he wants to work out new material. So can we get a spot for him?" And it's like, "Yeah, of course you can."
Did you get to meet him?
So we ended up doing the shutdown, like I said, where we worked with the city, and they're like, "Hey, maybe we should shut down for a little because we were trying to get all of our permits and stuff. Like there could have been an issue getting those permits if we didn't shut down." So with that show didn't end up happening.
Okay.
But when he comes back, because apparently he goes every year to these tennis matches that happen in Indian Wells every year.
That's random.
Well, him, Tim Dillon, Bert Kreischer, all of them go to these matches, and we're the only club there. So he was going to get paid, X amount of dollars to do 2 shows.
No,
And
shout out to Sandy when he was on Kill Tony. He brought you guys up.
yeah, no,
Because
freaking
even
that's
Fluffy
awesome.
was like, "Where's that at?" Like he was even surprised that there's a club there. So it's
No comment.
well, okay,
No comment.
okay.
But
What?
yes, he was interested.
Anyways, if that ever happens, you better fucking tell me. Anyways, no, but it's just cool that like I'm saying like because you said there's no scene out there.
Mhm.
Obviously, people go there to vacation,
Mhm.
and instantly they're like, "Wait, what? There's a comedy club out here." So
Yeah.
it's gonna bring people. That's pretty sick though. Like, and it's easier. Like you said, it only fits 40 people.
Yeah.
Because most comics they can do 2 or 3 a night. Like you easily do 2 or 3 shows in a night, because it's not a lot of people, but you could still bang out 30, 40 minute sets, have intermission or whatever and do it again, so.
Yeah, like if there was a certain show that we wanted to do where there was one person or something that wanted to do an hour and then we had like a 10 or 15 minute opener or something, we could pretty easily do three, but it's good because with it only being 40 right now, it's easy to fill up the 40 because if you
Mhm.
think even if about barking or whatever, everybody's vying for people that are walking down downtown Palm Springs for the same stuff. Come to our restaurant. Come, we have drink specials, blah, blah, blah. Nobody is saying comedy. We are the only one. There are certain venues that do comedy shows once in a while, but we're the only like dedicated one that's out there.
Are you guys gonna start having food trucks outside? Because that'd probably help out a bit.
I don't know if we have space in the parking lot, honestly. Like you'll see when you come down there. If you come down there on a weekend, every parking spot is taken. Like
Oh, that
as
sucks.
far as like, luckily we have our own dedicated parking lot. So if you come, free
Just
parking right there.
start charging $5 for anyone who's not coming to the comedy show.
No, for real. They're actually, if they're not in that center, it's called the Amado Center. If they're not in that center, they're technically not supposed to be parking there, but people do it all the time. And sometimes you have to wait for a spot or you have to park a little bit of ways away, but
That's the worst about going to a show and can't find parking. Like I did a show in Redlands recently. I had to park like 2 blocks away and walk my happy ass.
it
I'm
was
like,
the
fuck.
hanger show?
No, it was a different one. It was in downtown Redlands. It was like a bar show.
Oh, okay.
But downtown Redlands is like fucking LA. It's like popping. Like
There's a show tonight in Redlands.
oh, well, I didn't know about that. But
Yep.
where's this one at?
I think it's I don't remember what it's called. It's a Hector Lara is on
Oh
it.
yeah. I want to have him on too, but
Dude, he's great.
I know
I love
he's
him.
like the sweetest dude you ever met. But anyways, he said he's down to come on. We just haven't. It's hard to get people to come. Like
Yeah.
the rest of the month, I'm pretty booked. So thank God you came today. I asked you a couple days ago, and you came like right away. I'm like, hell yeah.
This was the only day. Every other day I'm like booked out for like 3 months.
That's what's hard about podcasting is I know everybody's busy. People work. People are doing shows. So I'm like, anytime I invite people here, I'm like, you tell me when you can come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Can I do another shameless plug real quick?
go ahead. Do
So
whatever you want.
so I started a podcast. First of all, Crimson Comedy Show. Be following this dude. Okay, first of all. But I started one called Carmody.
I listened to the first episode.
Thank you.
You do it in your car.
Yeah, so I do it in the car and I can call people and I just record it straight from the phone. I don't need somebody there with me.
I suggest you buy this little thing down here, this P4 system.
Mm.
You can make phone calls and stuff through that.
Oh, through the audio?
You could mount one of these microphones in your car somewhere. I'm serious. You could do it.
I mean, eventually I definitely want to get equipment. Right now I can't afford it, but like it has enabled me to talk to people on the podcasts wherever they are. I had a friend that we wanted to talk about a couple things that happened in the news, and I called him, and we were on the phone for like 10 minutes, and I recorded that whole thing, and like I'm using that as part of a
Listen, when
as
I
part of
first
a thing.
started this, everything I had was donated to me. So it took me a while to finally get my own stuff, but eventually you'll have even right now, like my video quality's trash, but eventually I will get better stuff. But like I said, in time,
Yeah,
it's all about the content.
yeah.
I know people
The
that got
doing it part.
I know people that got legit cameras and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, you can have all this, but is your content good? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I try my best to keep this entertaining, but sometimes it's just hard. Some people come on here and they're nervous or they're afraid to talk, but there's certain people like you where you could just go back and forth. I love this
Yeah.
shit.
No, this is like I'm so used to like being on stage even before I was doing comedy because I'm a preacher. That's what I did before. Like I was at church and I like taught the Bible and like I'm registered in the state of California. I could do marriages. Let's go, dude. But yeah, I don't
Gotta marry that pillow right there.
freaking in California. You probably could. But yeah, so like I was used to like being on stage in front of people, but it is really different being on stage in front of people and they expect you to be funny.
Yeah.
That's a very
Well,
different thing.
some preachers are funny. They crack jokes during sermons and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's like weird. Like you got to pick your timings because like the church crowd, it's not like they aren't there for that.
What church do you go to?
So right now we go to Wildwood Calvary Chapel in Yucaipa.
Oh,
It's right by it.
I don't know anything about that area.
Yeah, it's in Yucaipa. So that's like the church we've gone to for like quite a while. I mean, we definitely don't go as consistently as we used to. But even like the way we're raising our kids and stuff, like we're raising them, teaching them about it, But at the end of the day, if they decide that that's not for them, or if they decide that that's not what they want to do, like I'm not gonna be like how I've seen with other people and be like, "Oh, you're not my son anymore. You're not my daughter
Like
anymore."
Jack Black's dad in Tenacious D movie. You seen Pick of Destiny?
I have, but that's not ringing a bell. That part.
Tenacious D.
Yeah,
In the beginning, where the dad's super Christian and he comes in his room, he's all these Dio posters and he starts ripping everything off the walls.
I don't remember that part.
It's in the beginning of the movie when he's a little kid.
Hmm.
You watch it again, but anyways,
I'll have to see it again.
his dad's like hardcore Christian and he's a little rocker. That's why he runs away and
Mm.
goes to try to find Hollywood. That's the whole story. He grew up in like a hardcore Christian family and he was the outcast and he had a brother that was like super good Christian boy and he wasn't. So, but anyways, it's a good movie. I have it on DVD. My daughter was watching it the other day, but yeah. My wife and daughter they're in the church too. They do like Sunday school teaching.
Mm-hmm.
They work with like the special needs kids. So my daughter's involved in all that. So
That's cool.
that's pretty cool. But
I think like because there's people that don't consider themselves to be religious, which is like fine. What I hate is people that say they're Christians or any other religion for that matter, and they'll look at a person that's like, "Oh, I'm not religious," and they'll be like, "Well, you know what? My life's thing now is to make you religious.
yeah,
That's not my life's thing.
that's one
If
thing.
if you ask me a question, I'm gonna answer it, and if you don't, this is freaking America, okay? Like you do what you want."
You shouldn't force religion on anyone. They should be able to find it themselves. If you're forcing someone to like it, then it's just maybe push them
Yeah.
away. So
And I get like the things that people say about it too. It's like, oh, you're like believing this book, and like, how do you know it's not been changed over the years? And how do you know this? I realize how crazy it sounds to look at a book and be like, I'm gonna now plan my life and do things based off of this book that was allegedly from 3,000 years. I know how crazy that sounds, okay? So I'm not like oblivious to that. But you know what? Some things work for people and they don't work for other people.
some people need Jesus. They're going down the wrong path.
Or just crazy life like me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've been to church with my wife and I've seen people. You can tell like they've been in and out of jail and like well, at least they need this shit.
Yeah.
Some people need this.
I think that like the routine of religion for some people is like getting up, I'm doing this thing, I'm reading the Bible, I'm going on a run, I'm going to Bible study and then midweek service and then Sunday mornings and I'm serving, and some people need that schedule, but they don't necessarily like have it like I really believe this and they're just there for the schedule.
Yeah.
There's a difference of like, hey, like when it came down to it, like gun to your head, you believe this thing? Like some Columbine type stuff, you know what I'm saying? There's people that are ride or die and there's people that aren't.
Do you ever watch the show The Righteous Gemstones?
I have.
It's on
I think once
HBO.
before.
It's with Danny McBride. They're like a mega church family, and they're all the son.
Okay,
They're all
I
preachers.
saw the trailer for the new season. I don't think I've ever seen the show though.
It's very raw. Like it is not. It's a supposed. They're supposed
It's a
to be.
spoof.
Yeah, they're
Spoof
supposed
thing.
to be Christians, or they're like behind the scenes. They're crazy. Like it's like
Well,
it's Danny McBride.
respectfully, a lot of mega churches and things are like that.
So then watch it if you have HBO. It's pretty. I'm on the fourth. It's the final season. I've caught up to it, but
Oh, sweet.
it's like this. If you ever watch any of Danny McBride's shows, they all go like
Hilarious.
Eastbound and Down. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
go up and down. Up. It's just like it's always leave you on a cliffhanger. But I love his shows.
He's so funny.
Like the show Principles. They basically use the same characters in all these shows. I loved Eastbound and Down. That's probably one of the best comedy shows ever, besides Trailer Park Boys or Workaholics. Like I love shows like that. Do you have any favorite comedy shows?
Comedy shows, I mean, like, do you consider like, well, first of all, I grew up like watching the Cosby Show.
Oh God.
Respectfully. So like, I mean, the Cosby Show was something I used to watch I Love Lucy a lot.
Oh hell yeah, that's a classic.
And like Green Acres. A lot of older stuff I used to watch when I was a kid.
I don't know if you know this fun fact, but Lucille Ball and Desi, they used to have a house in Palm Springs. Like
They did, yeah.
Palm Springs back in the day was like the getaway from Hollywood.
Hmm.
Because I guess the contracts in Hollywood, you had to at least be within 200 miles of wherever they were filming.
Hmm.
So I think it was like just outside where nobody knows. It was before, like that at that time that city wasn't what it is today,
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of celebrities lived out there. So Now
There's
it's
still people out there.
now it's like a retirement area, right? People go there retire.
Yeah, I think they've been trying to bring back with the amount of like festivals and things they have. I mean, you see people there. There was one of the comedians out there saw Justin Bieber at Ralph's during Coachella. I see JoJo Siwa all the time out there.
I saw
I don't
her.
know if she lives out there, but she drives like a Tesla that has her face all over it.
Oh yeah, she doesn't want to be noticed, huh?
And it's like you know it's her, and then you see her like
When my oldest daughter was little, we were at Disneyland, and we were in line for some ride, and this little girl in front of us said a weird voice, and I was like,
Mhm.
"What the hell? Who is this chick?" And the girls were like trying to take pictures with her. I'm like, "Who is this chick?" My wife and they love dance moms. They recognized her. She was a little girl at the time,
Mhm.
and I was just like, "Who is this kid? Like, why is everybody wanting to take
It
pictures?"
was JoJo.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
she's like bigger, but back then she was just a little girl in the show still. So this was actively while she was with her mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could tell she liked being a celebrity, like
Oh yeah.
taking photos. Like my daughter took a picture with her. She had a weird accent. She used to talk like this, like waba, like she couldn't like pronounce R's.
Mhm.
She told my daughter like, "Is it your birthday today?" Like she'd sound like a little child. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like she obviously fixed her voice or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
technically she hasn't. She can't sing for shit. But
Yeah, she's in the news most recently. She was on Celebrity Big
oh
Brother.
yeah, I heard about that with Mickey Rourke was being all creepy towards her.
Well, no, it's not even just that part. She decided that she's not gay anymore. She broke up
She said
on the
she
show
said,
with
I
her
have
girlfriend.
I have been delivered. I'm
She-
not gay no more.
Dude,
Do you see that?
that
video?
video was literally like made me laugh so hard. And then also too the fact that she like has shirts that are like gayest person alive when she
Okay, honestly,
yeah.
what I think is that like people like the media has made gay cool.
Mm.
So even people who aren't gay were just like, yeah, I'm gay, just to like get attention or to get like like you said, obviously it got her more attention, right? If she
Mhm.
didn't come out as lesbian or whatever, less magazines, you know what I mean?
I
Like
don't even know if it was lesbian. I don't know what like because there was like a whole interview where like she said something about it, but that interview was like viral. And I think too like not even to necessarily like put down whether they were gay or they weren't gay because everybody's whatever they want. But I feel like if somebody says like hey I'm bi or I'm open for whatever the relationship is,
I'm down to fuck.
I do feel like that brings a certain level of like people stop actually questioning you with what you're doing with who you're dating. You know what I mean? Because if you flip flop and you haven't said something about it, then it's like a thing. Like right now, when she's saying, I'm not gay anymore, I'm going to be with this person, it's like now it's like blowing up in the news.
I haven't watched that, but what happened? She's with a guy now?
Yeah, so she's with the guy that she was filming the show with.
I never watched the show. I just
And
saw
I haven't either. I just saw
I
that.
saw a clip of Mickey Rourke telling her like, "I'm gonna make you straight again." Like he was bashing her for being gay.
Yeah.
Did he really work?
I don't know. I mean, maybe, dude.
He said, "By the time I'm done with you, you ain't gonna be gay no more." I guess he must have gave her that Mickey Rourke.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, the crazy part I think is her girlfriend putting out the video about how it all went down and how it all happened, how she found out and was basically like, I guess she's going with this guy now.
But do you think it's just like she's just doing it for publicity, just doing something like that? Because like people like
I
that,
don't
like
know.
she, okay, her dancing is trash, her singing is trash. Like basically, she's a reality star now. Like so, she's like
Okay.
the Kardashians. Like anything they can do to get attention. Like look at Kanye West now. That guy is like
That
on
guy
a whole
lives on his
nother
own
level.
planet.
But
That guy
like
lives on his own planet.
I don't know. I never really liked his music to begin with, but like him nowadays, it's like, what are you doing? Like are you gonna like cancel yourself?
He's mental. And by the way, I don't think it's possible. Kanye is to the
No,
level
I meant
he can't be canceled.
I meant
It's not
like
possible.
physically cancel, delete yourself. I'm not gonna say the word on here because of YouTube, but like he sounds very, very depressed, very mentally ill, and like unhinged. You know, like
I don't think so. The reason being is because I feel like he's had so many opportunities with stuff that's happened in his life that he writes about or has had music about to where if he was gonna do it, he probably would have. I think he likes being the
as I said,
villain.
they just like anything for publicity. He's done everything you can. He's probably just bored.
But
Like,
see, here's the thing now. I do think you're right that like people do a lot of stuff for publicity. I don't think at this point he's even doing it for publicity anymore. I think he legit thinks he's like the world's #1 villain.
but also too, like getting famous like that and being famous for so long, like it could mess up your mental. Like where
Oh heck yeah.
he thinks he's like a god or he's untouchable. You
No,
know,
for
like,
real.
you could see how people
He's yay. He's Jesus.
you could see how people change where like once they hit the fame and then they just love that shit. You know, no, it doesn't matter good publicity, bad publicity. Like they'll do, like I said, JoJo, they'll do anything to just to be in the next tabloid, you know, or the next clickbait or whatever.
Yeah. And I think it's crazy too because you think about some of these celebrities, the like shock factor and the lengths they'll go. You know, you see these like new videos where it's like catching predators and like one of them has a gun and then like
Yeah,
somebody gets shot and then just all this like crazy shock factor. It's in the news that the guy who's the big guy that does that,
Vitaly.
yeah, he got arrested
Yeah,
in like Asia or something.
I think he's in the Philippines and supposedly he's gonna get like 24 years. I'm like, what the hell did he do? Supposedly he pranked a security guard or something, and
Yeah.
he's facing like 20 plus years in prison. But
And like I know like money will probably end up getting him out of it, but like what if
Trump's gonna have to go save him.
Trump's gonna save him, dude? He's
He's
gonna
like,
get the real president.
he's like, Vitaly, I can't do a Trump, but I'm gonna try it. Vitaly, please come back. But yeah, like I seen that, but I'm like, is this real or is this another one of the? Because he's known for making crazy YouTube stunts or whatever like that. So like, is this another stunt or is this real? You know, like
It's like whether it's real or whether it's not real, like I think the fact that people from America go into other countries, famous or not, and you think that you're gonna pull stuff like that in another country,
the Brittany Griner shit.
yeah, like see, she served time over there.
He might do too.
He might too.
They might
Like,
have to pull the same thing they did with her, where they have to go trade him for some crazy motherfucker.
but see, that's the like the crazy part about it is that like people think like, oh well, my money should get me out of this, but I'm thinking of like, dude, what if it doesn't? What if you actually do 24 years over there, dude?
Yeah, and it's crazy. Have you ever watched those shows where you're locked up abroad, where people
haven't seen
there was a show back in the day. I don't know. I guess it's a documentary. I don't know, but anyways, they tell stories about people that got arrested in other countries.
Mhm.
Some for stupid shit, some for being mules or smuggling. Like they do a lot of this to tourists, where they offer them, hey, take this package back with you, and I'll give you this X amount of money, or they even blackmail them or extort them. You know.
Mhm.
And people end up in jail, and it's just crazy stories. It's called Locked Up Abroad. But
You'll have to check it out. I've never seen.
these prisons and other places where like it's crazy. Like you can go to jail and you can have a job where you go out of jail, work a job, and then you come back home. You have to be back on a curfew. Or like some of those jails, the gangs run the jails. They walking around with guns, fucking rocket launchers. Like I'm not exaggerating. Like it's a crazy. I don't know what countries these are. They're very like slumdog countries, but the prisons out there are not good. So if he is out there in one of these crazy prisons, good luck, homie. Because especially if they know he's rich or famous.
Well, see, I think that actually would like change something though, because I feel like if you're that level of wealth, because he's definitely a multi-millionaire, I feel like maybe they wouldn't treat him like that because there would be repercussions for it because of the level of fame he has. Because I mean, I think he doesn't stream on Twitch. I think it's Kick.
Mhm.
He's very famous
But
on
the
there.
problem is that people can extort whoever, like the gangs. If, as I said, if it's a prison that's run by
Yeah.
gangs, they could use him for ransoms and like I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like one of the stories I saw in that Locked Up Abroad, so this dude could have a job where he can go have a job and he had to be back. And one day he escaped while he was out working and got a bus, got an airplane, got out, and now like he can never go back to whatever country it is. But he had to literally escape from this. This is like an open door prison or whatever the fuck. I don't even know what you
That's
call
so
it.
strange.
But-
Because you would think that there would be so many people that would just do that, or at least try.
I have no idea, but I don't. I've never been in jail. I don't plan on ever going to jail. And if I'm in another country, I'm crossing my I's and dotting my T's or whatever it
It's
is.
never going anywhere, dude. I'm just like I hear horror stories about like from our church. There was or the one that we used to go to. There was a missions trip that some of like I think it was like high schoolers or college kids went down to Mexico and like they like did some crazy stuff to some of the girls down there, and it was like, dang, dude, like like that could have been any of us. You know what I mean? Like there was just like
Yeah.
anywhere.
Did you hear about that? There was like a Mormon church that was down in Mexico, and they were like, there was like a bunch of them like on vacation, and they got shot up. They were supposedly someone thought they were a rival gang or something like that, and
I haven't
shot.
heard of that
I'm
for
not,
Mormons.
because I think it's a whole crazy mess down there, but
Yeah.
they were on vacation or traveling through, and then supposedly they were mistaken for a rival gang, and then they shot a bunch of women and children, and like some of the kids survived. Like,
I'm not laughing about the women and children part. I'm just thinking like, how do you think like Mormons are like rival gangs? Like, are they wearing like full dresses
no,
and
like they were in cars.
button
It
up
was like
garb?
it was like a caravan of like
Oh, like
SUVs.
nicer cars. Okay, I can
So
see that.
they just shot up this it was a mistake of identity. Supposedly that's what they said, but I don't know, just shit like that. I'm like, I do not want to go down there. I'm
It's
good.
just even the chance of the thing, just hearing about so much stuff happening, I just have no desire to go. There's people that I know that go, they're like, yeah, the tacos down there, they're 50 cents, and you could do this, you could go to the club, the beaches are amazing, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's nice, go ahead, go enjoy it. But you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna stay in my little Ukaipa, my little bubble.
Yeah, if you want to go to Mexico, just go to what is that place called out here? By San Bernardino. It's on the other side of San Bernardino. It's all ranches and stuff. Fuck, it'll come back to me. But there's like a mini Mexico just down the way over here.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but yeah, I'm good. Like I said, I don't speak Spanish. I wouldn't last a day down there. Like,
No, I don't either.
I have no intentions of going down there. I've heard a lot of crazy stuff. I knew someone who went down there and drinking in TJ,
Mm.
and then the cops arrested him for being drunk in public. They took his shoes and then they took his money,
Yeah.
and then they dropped him off on the American side of the border, and then he had to call like family to come get him, like from a payphone. This was like in the maybe late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Just they abandoned him on the other side
Well,
of the
see,
border.
it's just stuff like, dude, I hate getting put in situations where like weird stuff's happening. And that's, well, first of all, that's like been my whole life where people have put me in weird situations. But like doing it to where I know that I could be putting myself into a situation, like that stresses me out to like no end.
I would maybe when I'm older, later in life, when I retire, I'll maybe become a passport bro. Go to Philippines. I'm just kidding. Have you seen those dudes? They're like, they go to the Philippines. They're like old dudes in wheelchairs, and they're like picking up the little young hot Filipino ladies.
Well, like obviously there's like the whole thing of like people go to like Thailand
Yeah, yeah.
and all
Like
those
they
places.
call them passport bros.
Yeah, I've never heard they call him that. Dude, the first time I actually ever heard of that was from Sleeping Giant, because Tommy used to raise money for like people that were like victims and stuff of like sex trafficking and stuff, and he would always bring up like Brunei and Thailand and all these places where there would be like people that were slaves and stuff like that. And he would like say stuff about that, like, oh, he knew people that would go over there for using and abusing these people and stuff. That's like the first time I ever actually heard anything about that being real.
It's sad too, cause like out there, like that's all they have. Like the women out there, like there's nothing out. There's no the economy sucks. There's no food. Like there's like they have to resort to stuff like that. And then people out here in America are just like don't realize how good we have it. You know, like you didn't have to prostitute at 12 years old. Like that shit's fucking sad. And it's crazy that people even go out there to do that
Yeah.
shit. Like kind of gross. Like
I went to New Zealand with my church when I was 17, and New Zealand prostitution's legal. Drugs are all legal, hard drugs are all legal. Everything's legal. It's literally like a place where everything's
New
legal.
Zealand's weird. It's like they look Islander, but they sound like they're Australian or something like that.
It's strange. It's like Moana, but like with the small voice.
One of my favorite actors is from there. That little boy from Deadpool. Remember Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
The little fat kid.
Yeah.
He's from New Zealand. Like he was in a movie called he was a little boy at the time with the guy from Jurassic Park. I forget what it's called.
Sam Raimi is the name of the guy.
Yeah, but the movie I can't remember the name of the movie, but that little kid he's a great actor. But in Deadpool, that fool had me dying. Like he would like when they went to prison, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like trying to learn how to be a prisoner. And he's like, oh, I have to make a shiv. He's trying to make a knife. He's like, I'm gonna hide it in my prison pocket. He's talking about putting a knife in his ass.
Dude, Deadpool. Did you see the new one? The Deadpool
It
Wolverine.
was whatever. Like I didn't really care. I like Deadpool 2 the best. That was my favorite.
When you
one.
go, like, I don't know, are you big into like the Marvel movies or anything like that?
Somewhat like I'm not crazy, but
Going opening day, like first showing, no matter what the Marvel movie is, even if the Marvel movie sucks, it's one of those ones that's like a 4 or a 5. online, like rated or whatever. If you go the first night, dude, it's packed and it's hyped. The movie's way better than it should be.
Like the whole chicken jockey shit on the Roblox. Is it
Okay, that
Roblox?
thing,
Is it?
yeah, it's Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft.
Minecraft, yeah, yeah. That thing is like pretty blown out of proportion, I think, at this point. I don't think that many people are even doing it anymore, but there was a week there, it was a
I think it
TikTok
was like a
sensation.
month. Like my kids wanted to go see it, but after seeing that, because my daughter wanted to go with her friends, and I'm like, I'm not letting you go there because I don't trust, that
Just
everyone's there.
weirdos, dude.
And I'm like, my little one still wants to go. I'm waiting for the movie to die down, like when it's almost out of theaters. But I would love to take
I
her,
think we're
but
at this point, yeah.
the movies are too expensive to pay all this money. It's like $100 to take your family just for it to get shut down to kick everybody out. Even if you don't do anything, they've been shutting down the theaters and
Mhm.
kicking everyone out.
Yeah.
So people are pissed. Like I would demand my money back, but they were like, they warn you now. Like if you do this, we're shutting it down. No refunds. I'm like, fuck, that would suck. So I would have to go like during the weekday at like the 11 o'clock opening, because my little one really wants to see it. But like I
Yeah.
said, it's stupid how people like how trendy everything is. Like they see something on TikTok once, then all of a sudden everyone's gonna do it and ruin it for everyone. So I don't know. I want to take him to see that, but I'm just like maybe we'll just rent it here. But I don't know. I love the movies. I love popcorn. I'm a big popcorn fan.
Yeah, I mean, like our generation was like the wait outside at midnight to get to in to see the movie.
I've seen all the Star Wars movies in the theaters, like
Yeah.
even the retro ones. When anytime they put them in the theaters.
Yeah, well they re-released them in the 90s.
Yeah,
So we saw those
the
when we
ones
were
from the
kids.
70s I watched the releases, but everything else
Yeah.
since I've been alive,
of,
I've
yeah.
seen them all in the theaters. And
2001,
those
2003, 2005.
those movies for months are just crazy, like crazy packed, like but it's respectful though. As soon as the movie starts, everyone shuts the fuck up.
Yeah.
I remember,
Although during The Last Jedi, I mean that movie was so horrible. There was like people yelling in the theater when Leia like came back to life.
I haven't seen
My brother was one of them.
I haven't seen the there's a lot of spin-off shows on Disney.
hmm
I watched the Boba Fett show. That shit was badass.
Mandalorian?
No, there's Boba Fett and then there's Mandalorian. There's
Yeah.
two different ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're both good. But I watched those, but I haven't watched the Jedi ones. There's like a Jedi with a girl. I don't remember her name. And there's another one with the Asian.
Ahsoka.
There's another one with the Asian dude. I haven't watched any of those. I need to catch up on that.
Yeah,
But
so there's Andor, Ahsoka, and then I think there's one other one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the Obi-Wan show is very good. Connects a lot of dots that maybe you didn't know about from the movies three and four. And then yeah, Mandalorian is the best one of them all, and that's why next year we get a Mandalorian versus Grogu, or not versus, but Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters, full movie, 2+ hours. And then 2027 we have the start of the new trilogy, Ryan Gosling trilogy.
I like the Rogue One was pretty good.
Fantastic. The best spin-off one that they've done, and like not close.
It was sad when at the end when everyone dies.
Yeah.
Like, it was sad. But in one of the movies, I took my daughter and I accidentally bought tickets to the front row because
Mm,
when you look at the map, it didn't used to say screen
hmm
at the top and then it would say the back of the theater. It didn't say that before. So I thought I was buying at the back of the theater, but I was buying in the front. So we were watching Star Wars like this, and it was so loud. And my daughter was little. My oldest was little at the time. I forget which one. I think it was the one with the Ray first one. What was it called?
The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it was that one. We saw that staring straight up for fucking 2 hours.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah,
That's when you have to get the ones that lean your chair back so you could just lean back like.
yeah, but I love Star Wars and Harry Potter's. I used to in the beginning it was pretty cool, but I kind of I got bored of it.
I'm a big Harry Potter fan, big Lord of the Rings fan. And when I was in New Zealand, I visited the set of The Hobbit,
Hell yeah.
which was fun.
I've seen the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. I think The Hobbit is better than Lord of the Rings. Like not action wise, but story wise. Like the stories. I don't know. I just enjoy. I like the little what are they called? The dwarves.
Mhm.
Those fools are fucking hilarious. Like I like when they show what's his name Ghibli
Gimli?
Gimli when they show him he's showing his son a picture of his son. It's like drawing. He's like an ugly little kid. It's his dad.
Yeah.
But that shit had me dying. But it's a good shit. But anyways, we're about an hour in. Do you want to plug anything before we take off, or?
Yeah, I mean, plugging the Carmody podcast, CARMEDY, on all platforms. I only have out like 5 episodes right now. I'm trying to do them about once a week. And then the Rock Gallery, all of our shows out there in Palm Springs. And obviously myself at Dave Thompson Comedy on Instagram. And yeah, that's about it. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, before we go, we're not officially done yet.
Oh, okay, okay.
I just have one final thought. You said you've been doing comedy a year now, right? You've accomplished a lot in a very little time. What do you see in the next year? What are your goals in the next year?
My goals would be
To slow down?
no.
Don't burn yourself out.
No, I am currently challenging the Guinness Book of World Records for most comedy performances in a year.
How can you prove that though?
Pictures, signatures.
Like in front of all of them?
Yeah, pictures, signatures, and like links to where someone would have saw me.
Have you checked to see if there's anything that exists? You could be the first one.
No, it does. So I had to contact them, and it took them like it was a 4 month process of being able to like get it in to where they were like, okay, you're actually like doing this now. And so there was like a whole contract. There's a whole list of things that they need for evidences and everything. And yeah.
So where are you at right now?
Well, I just started. They started it on May 1st.
Oh, so everything you've done doesn't count before that?
No, because I already beat his. I beat his in 6 months.
What was the record?
His is 309.
Who was this guy?
Sammy Hedberg. He's a comedian from Finland.
I was thinking of Mitch Hedberg for a second. I was like, wait, what?
I looked it up. There's no correlation between them, but yeah, he did 309 performances, and I was over that like when I was at 6 months.
I don't know how you have the time. I don't have the time to do that. It's crazy.
I just don't mess around. There's just no mess around time.
I'd love to do that. I just work, I have the kids, and then I do this podcast. But I try to balance it out as much as I can. But good shit for you, because I couldn't do that. I don't even like driving. I'm telling you, I couldn't imagine driving to 309.
Well, it's like when I'm doing like Instacarting now, because that's what I do. You know, if I know I have a show or there's mics that I'm going to start here, I put in my 10 hours of working, and then I go do the show, go do the mics or whatever I'm doing, and then go home. And there's not a lot of time for me to like hang out and just like mess around, which I know some people, they do it just for like the hangout. I don't really get to do that though. And like respectfully, if I'm going to hang out, I would rather just be hanging out with my family at home. You know, I got an 8-year-old boy, 6-year-old girl, and a little baby. Like if I'm hanging out, I would like to be hanging out at home. Yeah.
Are you done? Is that it?
My wife doesn't want it to be it, but we'll see.
What does she want to have, a whole clan? You want a whole soccer team?
Well, she keeps bringing this up because like I knew, so she comes from a big family. So I come from myself, 2 brothers, so there was 3 of us, and then she comes from 6 siblings. So I originally had told her, messing around, mind you, I was like, oh, we could have 6 or whatever, and I was like, that's me not even being a dad yet. I could see there potentially. I already have a car to fit a 4th one if we had 2 car seats plus the 2 booster seats.
They could lap it.
Dude, I used to be in a freaking Datsun. They used to put us underneath the dash, dude.
I was 5 kids in the back of an Oldsmobile, like with no seatbelts. So
no seatbelts, dude. We're freaking flying out of the car. But yeah, I mean, at some point we might end up having another one. But the way that I'm doing comedy now is like, I guess back to your question, like what I could like see myself doing. I'm gonna see if I can break this record. Unless something crazy in life happens, I'm gonna break it. And then
how much time do you have left to accomplish? You started the year from May, so now you're doing May.
Yeah. So they started me on May 1st, 2025.
Okay, so I thought it was how many mics did you do in your physical first year? So you're just saying a year in general.
Yeah. So their requirement is I set a time when it starts, and then they're going to expect at the end of that year me to have 2 witness signatures, phone numbers, contact information, pictures.
Did you ever watch Robin Big?
No.
Robin Big was a show on MTV. There's Rob Dyrdek's a skateboarder. He lived with his security guard, but they had a world record book, and they're just looking for the easiest things they can do. And Big is a big fat dude, and he was like, how many donuts can I eat in a minute, like without licking your fingers? They have weird rules. Like he had to eat like 10 powdered donuts without licking his lips, and he did that. Or how many bananas peeled you can eat, and then it was weird shit. But what you're doing is crazy. Like,
yeah, this one's weird. Like the weirdest one I've ever seen is there's only been one guy that's fully eaten a plane without dying.
Like an
airplane, a charter plane. He ate a plane, and over the course of 7 years, he has a mental issue called Pika,
They like to eat like
where
cotton or
they
something.
eat non-edible objects, and he
My
over the
daughter
course
likes
of
to.
seven
My daughter
years.
likes to chew on her hair. I'm like, stop. Like I've seen horror stories where women's stomachs fill up with hair and they had to get it surgically removed and shit like that.
That's like how the plumber comes in and gets it out of the
Yeah, yeah,
sink.
yeah. There was a girl in India. She had been chewing on her hair whole life, and she
uh,
just one day she couldn't eat and did whatever, and they took out this literally it was the shape of her stomach out of her like. So yeah, it's
oh
not
my
great.
gosh! Just imagine the smell, dude. The smell of the ones in the sink get bad.
Like
But
I have to clean my. I have all girls, and I'm the only
yeah,
dude,
yeah,
and I have no fucking hair, so I know it ain't me. But my wife, I have to clean the drains out. I'm like, god damn! Like I literally like pulling ropes of hair. Like
for real.
so, I put screens on everything now. So like I don't want to have to pay a $300 bill. Fuck that. But
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about.
like since having this house, I've become Bob the Builder. Anytime shit breaks in here, I gotta fix it. And like I told the story in the last podcast how I had to change a light and I fell and I got fucked up. But I'm
Oh,
not doing
jeez.
that again. But anyways, all right, one more time before we go. Do you have any
Yeah.
shows you want to promote? Do you have any shows you're gonna be on?
Yeah, this Friday I'm hosting an opening for Dana Weddle at the Rock Gallery. Saturday we have two shows, 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Jeff Garcia,
Shout out, Jeff.
shout out Jeff. You've seen him on Barnyard, Rio, Happy Feet, freaking Sheen Estevez from Jimmy Neutron. I'm opening both shows, doing a set at both shows.
Ultra Lord.
Dude.
I want to hear him say that, but I'm afraid to ask him.
Dude, like I'm such a fan of his, not just from the comedy because I used to watch his comedy, but like the shows, dude. I'm such a fan. Dude, I love freaking
He let me
Happy
open
Feet,
for
dude.
him when I was like 6 months in. I
Oh
opened
yeah,
for him at the Ontario Improv. He probably don't remember me, but yeah,
yeah,
I'm cool with his son. But anyways,
yeah. JoJo's cool.
yeah, shout out JoJo. I'm doing a show with him too, but tell the audience. Let me look up my date. Hold on, I forgot to
Yeah,
say, but tell the audience where they can find you again.
yeah. So on Instagram at Dave Thompson Comedy, on Instagram as well at Carmody Podcast. The podcast itself on any of the platforms is just the seven letters, just Carmody, Carmedy. But I couldn't get Carmody on Instagram. On Instagram it's at Carmody Podcast.
All right, guys, give him a follow. I'm doing a show with JoJo. It's called Grins and Sins Comedy in West Covina at the Temple Bar Urban Eats. It's gonna be Thursday, May 22nd.
Nice.
Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. Come check it out. It's a beautiful fucking room. I don't know if you've ever been to that place. It's a nice room.
I've heard good things about it. We've talked about me going over there a lot, but I haven't
It's
been
like
yet.
I guess like a Mexican themed bar, but they have really good food. I seen one of the dudes the last time he was eating wings. They were dank, like they were huge. And then I
Mhm.
saw like a bartender eating wings on their break, so their wings must be fucking good. But
Must be.
I didn't eat there that night. But
At some
anyways,
point, I'll come out there. I'll get out there.
you guys can follow me on my personal Instagram, AndyC_comedy. You could follow the Crimson Comedy Show on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. I have a lot of views on YouTube, but not enough subscribers. Like, subscribe, assholes. Come on.
I'm gonna go subscribe. A couple of those views are for me, and I haven't subscribed. That's my.
It's
That's my
okay. I don't
bad.
care. I'm just like, I need subscribers. Like, come on, show some support, you know? But anyways, we put on a great show here. I'm glad to have you here. It was
Thank you.
fun.
Thanks for having me.
Anyways, all right, guys. Good night.
Have a good one.
See you guys later.